Construction is one of the most complex, high-stakes industries in the world, and one of the last to fully embrace technology. A single estimate can take a fully skilled quantity surveyor 3.5 days. Well, Armin is changing that. He's the founder of Nestimate, an AI platform that takes your drawings, photos, site videos, and turns them into a full bill of quantities in minutes. Not days, minutes. We talk about why vision models matter more than LLMs for real-world problems, how he's building AI that enhances rather than replaces, and what it actually takes to bring a technical product into a sector that's been doing things the same way for decades. Let's get into it. Cool. Welcome, Armin. It's great to have you here. I wondered if you might just talk first of all about what you do, some of your background, and of course the great products that you're building at the moment as well.
Yeah, so hi Aaron, I'm Armin. I'm a CEO of Nestimate. My background is in computer science, with games, and from there I've been into immersive tech a lot. But over time, I've been moved to the product and working on go-to-market and strategy of products. However, I've worked in cross sectors, including defense, construction, by civil engineering side, and all the way to entertainment, games, and marketing side of things. So 100% cross-sector, and that's like my background. And now really focus again back in construction, but from the AI side, and a lot of vision model rather than when we talk about AI, everyone thinks about LLMs because ChatGPT changed all our lives with the front side, but vision models have been around for over a decade and we've been utilizing it, and it's being utilized a lot around immersive techs. And that's where we sat, and that's where we came in actually. And when we're saying AI, we're not just looking at the LLM side. From our side, it's like a lot on the vision models.
That's really interesting. We have this conversation all the time with people. I think when people hear AI, they get stuck in this model of just thinking about ChatGPT, and that's all they can see. And I love what you're doing because the product that you're building, I think it solves such a real world problem, right? But it does it with kind of AI behind the scenes in many ways, from what I've seen. I mean, can you talk to us about Nestimate, the platform, and what it does, how people use it, who it's targeted for, those types of things?
Yeah, so construction has been like one of the industries for decades. It's been behind on like getting a lot of tech in there. There's several reasons, but let me just talk about Nestimate part of it. We sit on the commercial stack. What it is at a very simplest point is we transform architecture drawing, tender packs, videos from site. It can be a very simple video where the guy is saying, we need to remove this wall, install a beam there. And as simple as that, you just upload it, and in minutes you get the estimations. You get your AI takeoff, estimation, and the full bill of quantity that you need for your tendering or what you need to send to your client. So the bigger the project gets, the more detail gets in there, and what you need is the amount of material you need, the amount of labor, the equipment, and then from there's other stuff that are important, the regulation and compliances that you need to look at, and also you're looking at contingency. There's a lot of information about that doesn't get to considerations, like warning them about those and also pricing those. And it can be a simple thing which we do through Space Tech, which is finding out pathways to how to get a skip or a lift there to get the rubbish out. There is a lot of roads in UK that you can't actually get a massive skip there to get the rubbish out. And we look at those sort of information and we let our clients know about all those details. And there is a lot of data globally out there that are not just in the tender pack. Try to look at everything. I'm saying try because there's so much, to give as much information and make people's life easy. And now we're talking about this, but now thanks to AI and just the amount of processing power there is, you can do all of these in seconds, minutes. Like you're not talking about, okay, we spent 10 days on this. No, we spent 5 minutes, 10 minutes to get something that would take on average 3.5 days. That's one of the biggest things we did, and that's one of the biggest selling point. On average, it takes roughly 3.5 days for one of these estimations, especially when we're talking about bill of quantity. Now we're looking at getting one out within few minutes, gets proofread and sent out in half an hour to an hour, where you're now looking at 20 times sending something out faster and saving a lot of time. And unlike a lot of things that people think, we don't look to replace, we look to enhance. A hybrid model of person plus AI, we think, is the best way at the moment to approach all of these, especially as there is a lot of manual work. You'd be very surprised, and I think a lot of people who are not in construction will be surprised. There is still a lot of drawing that people go over.
Totally.
And there is 10 different companies that are working, and they have their own drawings, and mistakes happen. And I mean, we don't need to look far for mistakes and variations happening. I mean, we got HS2, for example, everybody know of, and it's just the entire project has become a variation and things that go wrong. And through platforms like this, we can centralize a lot more stuff and also get more accurate things, get more accurate sort of ultimate commercial stack side of thing. Why I'm saying that is because you now have a lot of data and information that you didn't have before, and things that you didn't even consider looking at.
That's awesome. I love that, and I think the time saving is the obvious first step, isn't it?
Yes.
But as you say, it's about what that unlocks commercially for people, and I would imagine that getting a faster, more accurate quote is what every company wants at the end of the day when they're trying to bid across a number of projects.
Yes, definitely. And I mean, there's a shortage of great quantity surveyors. I mean, half the companies at the moment are having a difficult time getting great quantity surveyors for their projects, and at times you see they don't apply for tenders that they could. And we're talking about this on a global sort of case, because we looked at projects in Saudi Arabia. They lacked a lot of people there, and especially on the bill of quantity side and things, everything needs to be localized. And I mean, they really lacked a lot there, also on the quantity surveyor side, because where they call it an estimator, it's got different names for it. In UK, we just call it quantity surveyors, but globally is an issue, especially now that we got more energy and infrastructure sort of coming in and more demand for it. You get companies really facing a big challenge.
Interesting. How are you tackling that localization problem as you roll the product out? Because I imagine that as you go to new markets, that takes quite a bit of work from your side to get the product fitting just right.
I think there's several sort of base level sort of thing maybe need to look at there. I mean, language is the simplest one, but when we talk about language, we need to think about, okay, one thing is a tendering part, and then the other part is the subcontractors that work in that field. So in Saudi, the contractors can be from there's roughly around 5 other languages, with the top one being around like Hindi, Urdu, and that side of thing. To they got contractors even Indonesians. So if you really want to help it end to end, is that you would do the translations and you will make it in a way that they can read it and they can work with it as well. So overall, you're looking at 7 different languages, and then additionally, each on that side of work, they use a different bill of quantity. In UK, for example, we use NRM. In Saudi, they use the Principle of Measurement International.
Interesting.
There is a different bill of quantity, so not everybody uses the same. So there is that as well. And then on the localization sort of data side, that depends on the client you're working with, because a lot of them would have their own pricing. What we have had to come up with is easy ways that they can just utilize their own data, drop it in, and we grab the pricing from that they are comfortable with. Now, one of the very big things we had to do on that front was from day one, we created an architecture that didn't, especially for larger enterprises as we work with, did not train on their data, and also allowed them to hold their data on their premise, on their infrastructure. So all we do is we have a read-only, and then we delete any data after that and just give them the information they need. A lot of companies don't do this right now because a lot of our competitors don't do this, because the second you get money from a lot of VCs and stuff, they want you almost to steal the other guy's data as their sort of commodity. And what ends up happening, the risk for a lot of these companies, and the reason they're not going for it, is because they understand if they all end up doing that, then they're all gonna have the same tender. There will be no differentiator.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think it's a really interesting thing that keeps coming up in AI products, where how much of the IP is in the data and the training, and how much of it is around the process and the product around the AI and the pipeline and everything else. It's very multifaceted, but I think it's an important consideration, because I think every company is in that balance, aren't they, now, of being really wary of AI that isn't clear about training data or not training data with what they're using it.
I think majority of companies at the moment are training based on other companies' data, and the reasoning is very simple, because it gives them an edge as well. You need more data, and especially meaningful data, to really train your own models, to have a sort of unique edge yourself. So I can see the point of view. However, I can see the point of view of a company that's been working for 20, 30 years. That is a valuable source for them. If they're just giving it to you for one or two tenders, now that's very short-sighted thinking, because now they give the edge to their competitor to know what sort of pricing they do for that side of the world. So for pricing, we try to edge toward what is your pricing, because every sort of contractor changes, and actually area by area changes. But we do have a base level database ourselves, and as we expand to different locations, we work a lot with the builders from the foot on the ground, and that has been one of our edge, to get a pricing from that side of it. How much does it actually cost them? Then they can work on their profit at the top. And this changes even in UK significantly from one location to another location. So we just work with a lot of builders and the contractors who do the actual work. So that's where we got a lot of our data. But there are standards also in the industry that you can have that data by default. But we highly recommend people to insert what sort of labor hours they want by themselves.
That's really interesting. It sounds like you've gone to a lot of lengths to make that data really powerful, but in a really transparent way.
How much do you think that's helped you to adopt early customers with that level of trust that you've built?
I think my answer to that is, like, when we're trying to build a trust, it's a really weird one, because it's kind of like, okay, you can get the ISO, you can get whatever you need, but our trust was built on, look, your data is on your premise. We're not even putting we work with them. We put an engineer into a company when we talk with the bigger enterprises where they care about that, and they see their data is never leaving their premise, basically. Mm-hmm. It's being held on a short memory. So we've created a situation where they don't need to trust. They can see. And it's the same. I come from a product management background. I didn't like pitching and promising the future and believe me and trust me and here's like my things. Here, I show you our product. And it's the same, like our product is live. I don't go and promise something. People can go sign up, see the base level, try it themselves. And then, I'm always welcome we always welcome feedback. It's like what needs improvement, what was good, and is live. So the answer to that is absolute transparency creates trust, rather than promises and saying, and this comes from a sort of place where, unless the guy is your uncle, if I'm honest, if the guy is your uncle, then they trust you at that level. But for us, it was absolute transparency. Show them where he is, show them everything, and then is on their premise, is on their infrastructure, is never leaving, basically sitting on a short-term memory and just getting deleted. They see everything.
Yeah. And I would imagine that's even more important for an industry like construction, where, as you mentioned, they're a little slow to adopt technology sometimes, and have probably got quite a lot of built-in knowledge to their processes that they're working with.
The answer is definitely yes, but there are industries like in defense that is even more. However, I think we keep forgetting how important the transparency end-to-end means. And I mean it end-to-end, not trying to hide stuff like 10 billion sort of NDA sign-ins. Like, look, what we've built is something that's really complex to build. We have an edge, especially on the vision model on taking the AI takeoff. We know we have something strong. We're going to show you end-to-end, and we're not scared of random stuff, and we have something. I think the problem is global. Like, what I'm trying to say in my hesitation, I think the problem is more than that. It's not just construction everywhere, and I think more and more companies need to go with full transparency. Show the product, show the thing. No fancy pitching, no fancy sales. I'm not a salesperson. We don't have a single sales employee in our company, and transparency has been the key thing. Sorry, I'm repeating the same word, but I think it really goes back to that. It's like, how do you build trust? Be fully transparent. Give them no reason to feel you're hiding anything, and they're people on the other side.
Yeah. And a product that clearly delivers and speaks for itself as well, I guess, goes a long way in that.
Yeah.
And in that as well, I mean, as you mentioned, construction isn't a sector that's known for fast technology adoption. What's mattered more than the product itself in getting people to actually use it?
So for us, I was lucky that I worked in civil engineering before, so that got me some context to just have a chat and initial people trying the solution. That's one thing. And then from there has been just referrals, like making something that brings value straight away. A lot of companies, including myself, I've gone to places where I try to buy a product, I try to buy a software, and then I find that after two weeks, they will put an engineer there that can, then they're going to make a product in 6 months for us, and that side of thing. It's like, no, especially with AI right now, there's a lot of people who are on the edge on fields like ours. It needs to bring value as soon as possible, and that gets the next person in. So how do we get it? Is one, referral. Two is in person, meeting different people, and this can be different events and things. It clicks. The people who have the problem, I didn't need to sell to them. They already wanted to try it at AI estimation, and we have a mobile version and we have a web version. The mobile version was just for whenever I needed to show someone, and quickly just showing the product on my phone, showing some of the previous things, even though it's not at the highest level, them just seeing it changes the game, because I'm not promising something that, hey, here, hire consultants and get it. It's like, hey, this is here, this is what it does right now, you can see an example here, go and drop your own examples in it, is free to try out. And that was a game changer. Like, I'm not a salesperson. Again, at the background, I'm just like saying that. But the people came, and I was telling you, somebody told me, how do you sell this? It literally, one of the sort of new clients that we added a little while back that just became a normal customer and now is introducing us to others. It was within the first 15 seconds, it was like, I'm going to sign up to this. I said nothing other than a quick, it's an AI estimation platform, but let me stop talking. Here's how it works. Here's a quickly look at the description it gives you, look at the structure. That's exactly what you need to professionally win a job from either insurance jobs, and for bigger jobs, you can go drop in tender packs and it gives you a bill of quantity. That was it. Nothing else was needed.
I think that's really powerful, isn't it? I mean, firstly, understanding the problem, and clearly you've come from a background where that's been so clear to you, and as you said, having something that you can demonstrate in seconds or minutes is amazing. It's beyond just words, and it comes back to your, again, ability to deliver what you say. It's that's really, really cool to see.
Yeah, I think that is extremely crucial around AI, because a lot of people promise right now rather than provide, and people are very terrified on engaging and accepting. It's like, even if you don't, sometimes at some events I don't even mention is an AI.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we are kind of ruining the word in different fields because of so many false promises of the future, and there's no value right now.
There's a lot of hype out there as well, isn't there? And a lot of people who don't trust it, I think, and ultimately it's technology to solve a problem when it boils down to it. Just because it's AI behind the scenes, if it solves a problem, I guess the end users don't really care, do they?
Well, to be fair to the people, and to be fair to my mother who uses ChatGPT and everybody else, let's just go backward and look at who's the top guys and who are in the news, which they're consistently coming out and saying 80-90% of jobs will be removed. No one will have a work. No. Whereas I don't believe in that. Like, last industrial revolution happened on tech side. So yes, a lot of jobs dropped, but there were more job creation, but completely different jobs. This is the same sort of scenario. I believe we're going to become more productive even as a species. That I think is actually here to stay, and I believe in it. And it is in a hype cycle, but I mean, we can look at the statistic. In US is amongst one of the most hated sort of thing. Like, people are scared of it, and it's literally because you can look at the CEO of top AI companies, whether it's Sam Altman, you look at Anthropic, you look at all of them. Not a single one of them is wording it in a positive way when they're trying to raise capital.
Mm-hmm.
That scarcity gets them to raise capital easy, and they're terrifying people. And I mean, so there is a good reason why, because I don't, if I go to a quantity surveyors, which are our biggest customers, the first thing, when I try to say the solution, some people turn back, oh, so it replaces quantity surveyors, so you're there to remove quantity surveyors. It's like, absolutely not. Those are our biggest customers. They use it the most. It's here to allow them do more, and there's a shortage. And this is the other fun part. So I can just give you construction sort of thing. I truly believe that the commercial stack will become one of the biggest sort of bottlenecks for construction in the future rather than labor. Why? Because we got a lot of robotic happening. In the next 5 to 10 years, ton of robotics will come there. Do the work that people don't want to do. Do the work that is dangerous. And some of them are already there. I mean, you got robotic that does paint up to 30 meters high. And it can do a job that put a person in harm's way. It's a job that the person didn't want to do in the first place. There's a lot of people in construction. I mean, if you look at plumbing, yes, it's highly paid, but there's not a lot of people. It's not a job you can say, I love this. Like, it was always my life goal to be a plumber. Whereas now we can get rid of those jobs and train people to do something better. And this has happened previously. We can see historical, this has always happened. And I think that's the sort of future I foresee. And I don't look at the word as this zero-sum sort of mindset. I don't think there is only this much value. I think I love the sort of perspective that we can go to multi-planets. I love the sort of thing in healthcare. We can get to a point we can all be younger and like have stay younger and have a longer longevity. I don't think the word is zero-sum, and I think there is a lot of stuff we've not even thought of that can be opportunities for us and our kids. I got a very optimistic sort of point of view on everything.
I love that. Yeah, I love that, and I think it's really important right now. I think, as you say, that there's a lot of us that are really excited about the step change that's going to bring to so many industries, and we just need the people now to embrace it and use it every day, and to really think beyond their current role and capacity and look to the future.
Yeah, and we need leaders who are not here scaremongering a bit. Like, I know they need to raise money, but point out the good side as well, please. I know they do as well, but I guess it might come back to the news and marketing. It's like, please, I know it's much easier to click the bad thing, but there is so much good that can come in. I mean, health tech. You look at that. I mean, if you're thinking about next 5 to 10 years, they can cure cancer and those things. How many of us will be happier? And then going back to construction, we have so much we can build. And I mean, you don't need to go far. If you go to UAE, you see what they've built, and you see their mega projects, that their visions. And some of them have slowed down right now, not UAE, but Saudi and stuff. Some of them have slowed down. Is because it's really hard. But we can come up with peoples, and our imagination can be the limit, and build stuff that are incredible. There's a lot of space on Earth that we can build still. It's not, it's just a matter of like living nicer. And I think everyone's life will become so much better when we have that much more knowledge. And it's the same, like today I can do stuff that would have taken me 6 months within a week.
Yeah.
And it's the same, we come with our own computer science. We could literally say from within our team and say, first thing I say to everyone in our team, in fact, when we're doing a new hiring right now, what we're looking at is, in our test, we want to see the person utilizing AI for their code, and even for their sort of thinking process. That we want to see their thinking process, what they use, how they use it, and how do they get to the outcome they want, rather than just whiteboard coding and things like that. We really do want people to use AI. If they don't, we will not hire them, basically, if I'm honest with you. Because, and I would probably say 80 to 90% of code that we write today now is from the AI side, but we leave the architecture to our side. We have some code. The optimization side of it is our side, and the pseudocoding is our side. I think writing raw code by your hand is a very weird thing these days, and I hope more and more universities start training graduates to think every month your word might change.
Yep.
And to think more toward optimization maybe, and like best practices and thinking process, kind of like how mathematics kind of teaches you to think about problem solving. Programming should go back to the problem solving sort of side of thing, which has been for a very long time, not so much the coding, and really teaching people the optimization side, because we need that heavily.
100%. I think the engineering skills, are really important right now. Those foundations, and we start to take away the grunt work of cranking code, and we can start to focus on much bigger problems. Right? It's a real difference in where we apply thinking, as you say, to coding, to construction, to really every aspect of life. It's a really, really exciting future, and I'm so encouraged to hear leaders like yourself to be banging that drum and really getting people on board to that way of thinking. It's really good.
I've been doing that, and I think we have a great opportunity to make our kids' life much better than ours. I sound like an very old person. I'm not that old, but I got nephews, I got family. Like I foresee a very bright future. And also they talk, like, this is the other part that I always want to mention, is like a lot of people think about graduates will have a very hard time getting a job. I kind of agree, but I think at the same time there's two couple of scenarios. It's like there has never been a time where as a graduate you could do more. Like any graduate can, at this point, even during their university, they can literally create stuff that are as good as a company that's out there for like 10 years, that's slower. They're at the forefront. And to be very honest with you, we're excited about good graduates who have been looking at this as an opportunity, and they're doing stuff themselves. They're trying it out, open cloud, they're trying out everything new, and they're going to be more powerful than most senior sort of engineers that you see that haven't taken this in. Yeah. And most senior engineers I know, they really use it now. So, but I think graduates have a very big opportunity. Very big opportunity. I do think more and more companies need to be open to hiring them because they can be extremely powerful. In fact, we are kind of looking at are we looking for more a graduate or more a senior, and we're interviewing both sides as like we're looking at engineer, and it's been an interesting looking out right now.
It's really interesting to hear because there's so much talk, isn't there, around that entry level kind of disappearing with AI. But I think, as you said, curious people sometimes over experience is actually maybe what's needed right now.
I think maybe I have this perspective, but because I come from a computer science and I wanted a games job, and games has had that problem always, which is like entry into games is incredibly hard, and then the level below it is like entertainment. There was no job. I didn't get a job. I went and made a game. Those days, luckily, we had like Stack Floor. You learned when making a game. You learn how to make a game, and then actually, funny enough, that got me the first game that we made was Little like Runner, and it was made on Android. That kind of got me a foot in the door for my first job, where I got into immersive tech after it. Because they saw the game and they were like, okay, so you made a game. Tell me about that. How did you optimize this to run like really run at this speed on an Android? That was a question, because my first job was really around optimization.
Yeah.
On a VR, do you remember the Samsung Galaxy VRs? There was an Android.
Yeah.
That's what was my first job.
I love that.
So basically, that's where it came. It didn't come, and that's what I'm basically saying. It's like you have an amazing opportunity to make stuff. I do think from government side, I would love to see a lot of grants, like minimum wage type of grants. Open that up for a lot of people. I mean, you don't need $250,000 or 1 million or 2 million for a lot of these graduates to start something. Just give them a check. But make him kind of like write the same thing. What is your idea? Where do you think we will go? And then help him out, write the business plan, think about commercialization, think about the other side of it, and then give them some sort of salary so they can leave. Now you resolve this problem, and now you've made your GDP just blow up because you have this force that would have sat and done nothing, because they're just sending CV. And I mean, I seen some of these. Like, what was it? 11 Labs had one job opening, had like 10,000 applicants on a league day for it. It's like, I don't know what words to say on that front, but basically,
it's not adding up, is it?
Basically, I think a lot of governments can help a lot on that front. It's like and their country's GDP will like really explode. And I think we need to less reliance on VCs and investment to pick up that side, especially for graduates. Like, we're not talking about huge sort of grants. Like, you're a graduate, here's a $20K, give us your ideas and stuff, and we help you. Sounds like almost every university should do that.
Yeah.
But I do recommend also the other side. If you can get a job, the 1 to 2 or 3 years of being in a job, the amount of learning you can do is great. But it might work the other way around, which it did for me, which is I did something that got me my job, and then the rest is the history, because it took me to immersive tech. I started learning about vision models very early on, started learning about optimization very early on, and we didn't even think of it as vision models. Like, we were just looking at immersive tech. Okay, I need to know where the surfaces are. We never thought of it like, there's like, we were doing that side of things. So because we learn stuff by doing stuff.
For sure. And I love that. And I think it so often boils down to just solving problems that really excite you and get you interested about what you're doing, and finding a way to do that. And arguably, there's more tools than ever with AI now to be able to go and learn and to get stuff done.
It's such an empowering thing. A graduate who wants to get something done can, in any field, could beat me at it probably at some point. It's like, just need to be able to be awake as long as possible. Lots of coffee. I would invest in coffee beans right now if I could.
It's got to be a great market, surely.
Italian coffee all the way. You invest as much as possible on that front, you're going to succeed. Done. I think that's a wrap. There's nothing better recommendation.
That's the takeaway. That's awesome. There's been so much we've talked through that. I mean, your story is really inspiring, Armin, and I think you're clearly doing some amazing stuff with Nestimate at the moment. It's just been really, really interesting to see, and long may that continue. I know you talked about the amazing year you've been having so far, and we're only 3 months in, so best of luck for you. Where can people find out more about you and what you're doing?
So people get our website nestimate.ai, or people can contact me directly, Armin at nestimate.ai. We are raising a round as well. Is a pre-seed round. We're pretty much committed. So there's a little bit remaining in there. So if there's an investor that wants to be involved, especially on a construction site, we welcome that. And as I said, my email is armin@nestimate.ai. And if anybody wants to have a chat and stuff, I'm always very open. And my LinkedIn, Armin Egili, you can just add me there. I'm pretty much awake 24/7. So message me. That's it from this side, and it's been an honor being here. Scott is lovely, always talking to friendly people.
Awesome. Well, likewise. Thank you ever so much.